Good morning, and today's engine run features an engine I got from a fellow named Mark. He lives in Illinois. I met him at the West Bend RC swap meet months ago. I ended up buying this Rossi 40 engine from him. I got it early in the year, and this is the first opportunity I've actually had to put it on the stand and try and do a run with it. So this is an engine that is not new. He's run it, it's a used engine, he's run it a few times. I don't know exactly how many times. I did my preliminary carb setup on it. Now, I've got an APC 9.6 prop on here. And I would like to think that maybe I can use my starter to start this thing, but it's got a lot of compression. And I'm not sure my starter is going to be able to do it. I also have a brand new Rossi R5 Plug in here, and I'm going to be running some 80/20 FAI fuel in this engine. Now, it's about 43 degrees today here in Rosendale. It's a beautiful day in my opinion. Very light winds, very mild temperatures. So I'm hoping to get a good run in on this engine. I have the lighter fluid with me in case I can't get it to pop over, but like I said, I'm not sure if my electric starter is going to be able to do this or not, because this has really strong compression. I've already got the plug loose right now, so that's why it doesn't look that strong, because I was anticipating just using the lighter fluid right away to start it, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to tighten the plug up, see if this thing will take a prime or how well it takes a prime, and then see if I can get it to fire up with my starter. So let's do a run with this engine on this wonderful, beautiful day in Rosendale, Wisconsin. Let's see how easily this engine primes or takes a prime. Really well. Now let's see if this engine, let's just see if this thing will even want to turn it over. Okay, we might be in luck there. Now this igniter didn't seem like it wanted to lock on to that Rossi plug. I don't know if I'm too rich or too lean there. Let's do this. Let's close it all the way again. So we're going to go 1, 2. We'll start at 3 turns out and see what happens there. Well, that's never a good thing. I don't think it likes to run like that with the carb coming off. Oh, you know why though? Okay, so that wasn't good. As you saw, the carb popped off of this thing. Now, as I recall, when I was putting this thing together, actually adjusting the carb, I was adjusting it so that the needle valve would be angled back a little bit more to keep my hand a little bit further from the prop. And at that time, it's one of those things that's got a nut on it and it kind of clamps with a grooved metal piece and it clamps onto the base. But the nut that's holding this, the corners are not perfect. They're a little bit rounded. And on top of that, where the nut fits into the casing and the front housing, it's cut out and it's recessed a little bit. So it's one of these things where you have to have the perfect nut driver, not a wrench. It has to be a nut driver to get on there. And I know I was having some issues because all I had at the time was a wrench, and this was a month or two ago, so I didn't recall. All I had was a little wrench to try to get on there and snug it up, and I wasn't real confident in it at that time either. I'm going to look in this toolbox, see if I've got a nut driver. Okay, so this is part 2. I did get the carb secured. Let's see if we can get it primed again here. How this McDaniel knife starter doesn't like to lock onto these Rossi plugs. There it goes. Okay, now my exhaust is loose. Okay, as you can see, this engine runs really well, but now the exhaust is coming loose. I think you can see it loosening up here. So the exhaust on this thing is such that you really need to have a shaved down L wrench. It needs to be shaved down quite a bit so you can get in there and really torque on it. A ball driver just won't get it. I don't have those shaved down L wrenches. They're back at the apartment. But I think we saw what everybody came here to see with this engine run anyway, which is a Rossi engine going full out. And this thing was turning this 9.6 prop on FAI fuel and a Rossi R5 plug right at 17,000 RPM pretty consistently. I saw 16,970 something, but I think it hit 17,000. Actually, I see 17,170 as the peak on here. So I did bring it down to idle. I never did mess with or even attempt to set the idle stop screw or the idle mixture at all. But I mean, with an engine like this, that's really not what you come to see. That's not really what they're designed to do. They're not designed to sit and idle all day and sound cool doing it. These engines are designed to go all out. So that's why I'm not even going to bother really setting the low speed mixture. It was hovering right around 3,000, 3,300 RPM, and then it was just starting to slowly taper off and taper down. And that's when I got on it and I advanced the throttle again. But these engines are not really designed to sit there and idle reliably with a small prop for minutes at a time. And nobody really wants to see that with this engine anyway. People come to watch this video to see this thing go all out and see what max RPM we can get with it. So with this 9.6, we got 17,170 was the peak shown on my tachometer. So I may not be running this engine again. I've got a backlog of a bunch of engines that need to be set up and run. And as often as I actually get out here now, I just don't know when I would get back to running this. So this may be the only run video you see of this engine. So I hope you enjoyed watching it.